Hi, so I was in my Wonder Years save file just updating things in order to try to progress the story, and I decided that I was going to renovate Emilio and Marcella's apartment just to kind of update it, make it look a little bit more realistic, and also fit the overall vibe of the save file. And I decided to film it and make a short renovation video just to bridge to the next episode. Also, there are a few more residents that now live in the building besides Marcella and her family. And I also opened up the areas downstairs that were blocked off in order for the residents to have some shared space. The original build is by CharlyPancakes. It's in their save file. And I used their build as a shell and then just kind of redecorated everything. On the bottom of the building, everything other than the lobby was closed off, but I added a fully automated laundry room where the residents can do their laundry now. And then of course there was the trash area, which was already included in the original build. So here are two of the residents of the building, Miss Slater, who lives on the top floor, and Aileen Chester, who is Carter Chester's older sister and lives beneath Marcella and Emilio. Across the hall from the laundromat is a daycare, which is run by Aileen Chester. The daycare is not a shared space. It actually is part of her living space. And then I used Little Miss Sam's live-in business mod to turn it into a daycare. And we have a few babies and toddlers and children who live in this apartment building. So it's very convenient for there to be a daycare downstairs that their parents can just drop them off at while they're on their way to work. All right, so right upstairs on the right side of the hall, we have Aileen Chester's apartment. As we know, Aileen Chester is a young adult and she is Carter Chester's older sister. She just recently moved out of her childhood home, and she now lives on her own in this apartment. She has several businesses, including the daycare, as well as she is a psychic / medium. So she has people come over to her apartment in order to have readings done or seances. So this guy is here for a seance in order to try to contact one of his loved ones. Okay, so it looks like something happened. I mean, the lights flashed on and off, but he doesn't appear to be satisfied. So she's going to try to contact his loved one again. All right, so while they're doing that, we'll kind of look around Aileen's apartment. The vibe is kind of bohemian, earthy girl, spiritual girl vibe here. So the setup of the apartment is exactly like Emilio and Marcella's apartment, because her apartment is right underneath their apartment. So the apartments are set up identically, but hers is decorated more to her style. So I added fire escapes to the bottom two apartments on each side. So sometimes you'll see other residents coming up the fire escape onto the balconies, because the balconies are now shared spaces. So we see Aileen go down to her daycare. So this is part of her apartment. It's not a shared space, like I said before. So she's the only one that can kind of go in and out of the daycare at any given time. So on the side of the building, we see a little play area for the children in the daycare. And then as we go towards the back, we see some picnic tables for the residents to use. And also there is a photo studio in the back of the building. All right, so now we're at Liz Jones' apartment. She lives across the hall from Aileen Carter. I didn't really do too much renovating in her apartment. I think I moved I redecorated it just a little bit, but for the most part, It's not that different from the original build. Marcella's old bedroom is still in this apartment, which is completely different from the original build. And then we also see a bunch of photos in there from when she was with Will. So they never took down all of these photos she has of Will. All right, so now you see Aileen coming up the fire escape and how she can just go on the balcony, and since Liz has her door open, she can just walk through Liz's apartment. All right, so now we're directly above Liz in Liz's daughter India's apartment with her husband. So they have 3 girls, they have 1 toddler and 2 children. It's still a 2-bedroom apartment, so the toddler lives in the room with them. So I don't know how long they'll be able to stay in this apartment, but the 2 girls live in the 2nd bedroom. So I guess they could get bunk beds and all 3 girls could be in the 2nd bedroom. But their apartment is identical to Liz's. It's decorated more for a family. The apartments on the left side of the building are all bigger than the apartments on the right side of the building. So the ones on the right side are all single bedrooms, and on the left side they have double bedrooms. All right, so they're getting ready for the twins, Marcella and Emilio's twins' birthday party, and they're gonna have that at India's apartment since it's a bigger apartment. So you see it's decorated with Cookie Monster birthday stuff. All right, so the next stop is Emilio and Marcella's apartment, which is right across the hall from India's apartment. And there's been several episodes in their apartment, but I redecorated it to make the apartment look more like a young, broke couple with kids is living in this apartment.
Oh, dimper your dish.
Emilio and Marcella use the photo studio downstairs to take some photos of their twins before they age up into toddlers. So this is probably the last time we're going to see the twins as infants. I'm gonna do a short little synopsis of their birthday party, but that will be this will pretty much be the last time. And then they will age up into toddlers, and I plan to just put toddler beds in where their infant beds are for right now. Eventually, I might have to switch around their apartments so that they can get a bigger apartment. Maybe they'll switch apartments with Liz, and so they can have a second bedroom for their toddlers. Okay, so right above Emilio and Marcella are the Slaters. It's Mr. and Mrs. Slater. And actually, Mrs. Slater is Emilio's aunt. So his great aunt. So his mother's sister is Mrs. Slater. Mr. Slater is an elderly man. He has dementia. He is mainly in this wheelchair. I mean, his wife and most people think that he's always in this wheelchair, but sometimes you'll see him running around randomly or sitting in random places in the building. So this apartment was decorated for an older couple. You see like their furniture looks like it may be a little bit outdated. They have a lot of jazz, like black art type pictures. You'll see on the wall, Mr. Slater was in the military, so you'll see his picture on the wall. And they have a nice sized kitchen. So the smaller units have a really nice sized kitchen, whereas the larger units that have the 2 bedrooms, the kitchen is kind of like a kitchenette. So this apartment is perfect for Miss Slater. So across the hall from the Slaters, we have a mysterious resident who just moved in not too long ago. And he is a single bachelor. We don't know what his name is, so he has been dubbed Brahman from upstairs, ode to Martin. And we really don't know much about him other than he's a single guy who lives in an apartment. He's always looking through that telescope, and it's never directed towards the sky. This is like, Mr. Slater, can I help you? Mr. Slater's like, huh? Where to go? Where to be?